Okay, I think I am hopefully live right now. Um, oh my gosh, like everything is frustrating me tonight with getting this stupid live working, so I'm glad to be here. Sorry it wasn't sooner, and I'm probably gonna be a little bit like, what's going on? Um, so please bear with me, but welcome. I am ACAB True Crime. Today, I am going to use this live to discuss the new Pullman documents that just were released, the unsealed ones from the Pullman Police Department. And there's like around 280 documents that were released, and then also something like a handful or like maybe like two handfuls of new video files. And so I actually read through all of those and I want to talk about them. And there's not like a ton, but when I read through them, I took notes, and there were things that definitely caught my eye that I thought would be worth discussing. And then there was like one particular, I think a couple things will be interesting, but there's one particular thing which is an email from, or like a bunch of emails from this whistleblower, but it's like actually like probably a clinically, you know, delusional kind of insane person, I guess. But I'd like to go over that as well. And I think that it would be a good idea. I have been starting my lives recently with just saying a little like ritual spell type thing, just because like I have noted before, there's like a lot of just negative, bad vibe energy things that are talked about like on these lives, or not on these lives. Well, yeah, on these lives, but in these documents and just in the whole situation. And also, I don't know who's out there like watching me and stuff too. So it's just like a good way to set a good intention, and it just gives me more like confidence and clarity going into it. So I've been liking doing that. So I'm gonna start with that. So I'll start off with some smudge spray. And then I have been having ChatGPT write little sane like spells for me. So I'll do that right now. Um I don't know if you can see. Oh no, maybe not. Okay, so oh shit. All right. Oh, okay. I'll try to hold it up. Yeah. And I've got the fuck, where did it go? Damn, here it is. Okay. So thank you, ChatGPT, for this little poem. By sword and star, I clear my way. Oh yeah, and also like blue, like candle and white candle, like blue is for your throat chakra. So I thought that would be good to like help me with like talking in clarity. And then white is also just like good for like cleansing and like purity and just like getting rid of, any bad juju. And then I have, what else did I grab? I think I grabbed, this is the sacral chakra incense, which I just like have a bunch of incenses and I don't even really look. I just kind of randomly grab it. And then it usually seems to kind of like fit for that day. And then I also just have some sandalwood that I light too. Oh, I forgot to say the thing. Okay, so by sword and star, I clear my way. I trust the signs, both loud and small, and guard my fire from those who'd stall. The spark I hold will grow and weave with hands that build and hearts that believe. So mote it be. All right, so then I'm gonna do. Also, I sometimes have been drawing just like a quick tarot for the to set out like the general energy for what the live will hopefully be. And I decided to use the deck of Miss Cleo and actually shout out to um crap, now I don't know her name. I'll come back with it. Um, but she is like a commentator, and I'm like pretty into Big Brother on CBS, the like reality show, but like game thing. And there's some people that get really into it and like watch it like 24 hours and then like report back daily because they have cameras on them like at all times, so you can kind of see what's going on in the house and stuff. Way more detailed than the actual um like episodes that they put on CBS. Anyways, so she like writes, this woman does commentary and it's really funny, and she always is like really good about putting little like meme or clips that are in there that kind of match what she's saying, and she's kind of like snarky, so it's funny. But she, oh, hold on, so she I can't remember what it was, but she ended up doing a little clip of Miss Cleo. And I don't know if you guys remember Miss Cleo, but if you don't, that's too bad. Um, but back in the 90s, there was this like psychic lady named Cleo, and she would be like, call the psychic line. And um, she was like, her little saying would be, just call me, or something like that. And anyways, I like told the lady that I had a Miss Cleo tarot deck because I actually do, and it was like one of the cheaper decks that I bought. And like I have a little funny story about Miss Cleo. I'm sorry, I digress, but when I was like 8 or 9, like my best friend and I, Cara, shout out to Cara, we were hanging out over at her parents' house and we like saw Cleo, and I like always have been into kind of like, I guess, metaphysical stuff. I didn't know that, but I just kind of have a very vivid memory of this happening to me at like 8 or 9. So apparently, at least since 8 or 9, I've been interested in like metaphysical shit. But her parents got like super pissed at us because we ended up charging like $85 worth of like phone bills, and this was back in the 90s, so it wasn't like free, like long distance, and it was like a 900 number, and I bet I was like, kind of like, I bet I was like, Cara, let's do it, but her parents were pissed. I remember her like parents calling Miss Cleo's like, station and being like, give us our money back, or whatever. But hey, Landon. Oh, yeah, Cleo is super awesome. So actually, Landon, just because you're such like a awesome I guess like member of my community, and you are loyal and whatever, trustworthy, I'll pull a card for you too. And then I'll pull a card just for the live. But anyways, the Miss Cleo deck, I kind of told that story in a comment to her on her page. And she's like, oh, I didn't know Miss Cleo had a deck. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, it's cheap and it's cool. It's like Egyptian mythology kind of symbolism. And then she's like said that she heard, okay, Landon, this is your card. Oh, do you have the Knight of Coins? That's fun. That's like usually represents someone that is like very fast moving and enthusiastic about um something like related to your work or house kind of like living and stuff. So um yeah, I'll read you the little actual definition, but let's just get one for the general. Okay. Uh-oh, this is weird. Okay, I don't like that very much, but we got the tower for the uh general energy of this live, which the tower is kind of like the most like almost like chaotic card, like like kind of like holy shit type of card. So that's weird. And then I love this on the back. On the bottom, I feel like this is talking to me. It's Empress and High Priestess cards. Ooh, and then the moon. But the first two were upside down. So, oh, I don't know what that means. But the Empress is my kind of my card too. But Layden, let me read you what Miss Cleo's deck says about the Knight of Coins. Oh, where are you? Here we go. Knight of Coins, a man of honor, often military, militia background. That's weird. Tarot is so fucking weird. Willing to assist, dependable. Oh my God, that is exactly what I said you were. That's like why I was drawing a card for you. That's trippy. It says a person of trust who will guide and help you is approaching. Approach any tasks with great planning and organization. Maybe I'm your guide then, that you'll trust me. I think I'm pretty trustworthy. Okay, and then the tower for like the general energy of the stream is, I'll read it to you. So get ready, everybody, for the tower energy. You have been warned. All right, turmoil and conflict in one's home, lying, sadness, and lack of peace. What the fuck? I don't like that. Well, you know what, though? This is interesting. Okay, it says change occurs in a blink of an eye. Great disruption has taken or will take place. Dramatic change in beliefs or situations in the home, the disruption of a tradition, a shocking loss of what was thought to be true. So I feel like maybe that is talking about hopefully this is what I'm going to say it means for on this channel tonight is that maybe through going through these documents and just having conversations about some of the things that I want to talk about tonight, we'll have people that are having kind of like aha moments or tower moments where they're like kind of like your whole, it's like a paradigm shift, hopefully. But, I don't want to like ask for too much. I don't want to put too much pressure on me to like change everyone's worldview, at least not right away from one life. But anyways, so um thanks, Landon, you're up too. All right, so did the thing, did that thing. I'm going live. And then okay, so now I have to figure out. All right, so what I will do is okay, yeah. So I think what's best is that I had let's see. Oh my God. Come on. There we go. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm like so stupid when it comes to computers. All right, here we go. And then I'm gonna like just do this real quick. Cool. Thank you, Landon. I appreciate it. Keep sharing you trying to get my people in here. I know. I feel like I don't hold it against people for not like realizing how awesome I am yet, but I think hopefully I'll get better and like maybe people will start to actually like realize that some of the stuff that I'm saying is like coming true or like like a lot of shit with the Idaho 4 case that's come out, like I definitely was calling out and researching and stuff like, beginning of 2023 and like end of 2022. And I have actual videos that I published during those times that talk about the things that I was talking about a little bit. So, and like feels kind of good to be proven a little bit, like validated with some of those, I guess, what would you call them? Like, uh, predictions or just like, feelings about because we had no idea kind of what was going on. Anyways, I digress. Oh, I love hanging out with you too, Landon. I appreciate you. Um, and honestly, I feel like, I mean, even though I do want definitely like more followers and like not because of anything, it's just like I just want to be able to, I guess, spread this information like to the furthest places that it could go. I think it's really important information. Thank you, Brutally Honest. That's awesome. New and subscribed. I love that. Um, yeah, I think that I forgot what I was saying. So thank you guys for being here, and it takes the pressure off a little bit when there's not like a million people in here. So I like that aspect of things too. So, but yeah, I am ACAB True Crime. If you are watching live, I'm sorry for, digressing. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. And then if you could like the video, that'd be awesome. It really helps. Um, so tonight I'm starting like the first of a series of lives that are going to be about well, I already started a live stream with the I wonder if I can move this over. No. So I started a series of live streams for the new documents that came out in from the Moscow Police Department like a few weeks ago, like right after the sentencing hearing took place at the Koberger play trial. And then I also was like following and getting like really into some deep dives on this other weird stuff that's going on up in like the Pacific Northwest, and like I feel like a lot of like organized crime that might also be a little bit like aligned or connected, even if just not loosely, or maybe even just with like different like reoccurring themes that come up in incidents and just happenings. And even though they might not be directly correlated, I think if you're seeing the same kind of pattern over and over again, like that says something. So, um, yay. Oh, that's so cute. Landon, you're number one, and brutally honest, you're number two. I love that for us. So I've done like 5 lives on the like Pacific Northwest weird kind of explosions. And actually, it's so weird because shit keeps happening every week that goes along with this like observation of mine. But I'm not sure if you guys heard about it today, the explosion at the US Steel factory in Pennsylvania. So I started doing a ton of research on that and really trying to dig into like what the wait, what was I gonna say? I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, dude, I shouldn't like. Maybe it's not good to go on this late sometimes, but I just was like frustrated all day with trying to like get this shit done and had to run a bunch of errands. But anyways, yeah. So, oh yeah, like from US Steel and like getting really into deep dives about US Steel, and like there's been a bunch of weird shit that's happened with the company and like, well, basically since it was invented. Like, I mean that honestly I could do a whole other live just on the US Steel, but it does seem to be that there's like a ton of explosions happening in different factories all over the place, and like it's killing a bunch of people, and it seems to be um like large explosions, like a bomb, not just like oops, a fire started at the factory type deal. And they're like law enforcement is being really weird about it, and they're having like so many different law enforcement agencies like working on these. Like I think that they said today at the incident in Pennsylvania, the factory for US Steel, they said something about how they uh couldn't, oh no, it was like 14 different firefighting agencies were there, and then a bunch of other police officers and stuff too, which I just think is interesting. I'm like, why does there need to be that big of a response? Like, it is crazy, Landon. I know. It's like, it's super weird. And honestly, like, I don't know. I mean, okay, this is definitely just my total off the wall, like, crazy theory that I definitely don't think is true, but it has crossed my mind is like, well, because like US Steel just got bought by a company from Japan, and like the United States tried to stop that from happening. And I feel like there's like a lot of like, I guess, discourse going on right now between different countries that we don't necessarily know about, that they want to keep hidden from us, about like trade and where we're getting certain um, you know, resources, like specifically explosive material, like for fighting, and even like different types of, I don't know, like espionage shit. And they, I think, have been over the last few years. I feel like the US government and like different agencies and stuff have been a little bit like fucked with by like other countries that they're not telling us about, like all these like cyberware and attacks and stuff, like in St. Paul just last week, or like 2 weeks ago. St. Paul, like in Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis, so like the city right over the river. Like they declared a national or a statewide emergency, or a citywide emergency, and they requested for the National Guard to come in and to help the city is like get all of this like cyberware like attack shit out of the system. And apparently they do have now like National Guards or people that are trained in specific like tech, cyberware attack and defense. So that's interesting. And it does make me think, like, and with drones and what people can do with drones these days and surveillance and like if they can like get into like certain, computer systems, they can shut it down. Like some of the like all the recent plane flights that, or like plane crashes that have been happening. I've like wondered if, something ends up someone like broke into the system and messed with the technology on the plane somehow or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's just like things that I think about, but there's no like proof of that. But it is interesting that all these explosions like are happening at like, I mean, US Steel is like a huge fucking company. It is like one of the biggest companies in the like country for sure, if not the world, like top 10 like largest companies. It was like started by like all, JP Morgan and like all the rich fuckers, like all the people that totally exploited us and made this like a fascist country like right from the beginning, which we should stop. So but again, I digress. So anyways, that is another series. If you're interested in that, definitely check it out. I do want to continue with that because even with like the recent addition of this new explosion in Pennsylvania, it does seem like applicable to stuff that I've been like going over. There's just so much to talk about, but tonight I want to focus on the Idaho 4 documents that were released from the Pullman Police Department. I haven't really been keeping up too much with like other like talks like online and um yeah, like on other like creators and like not even really like, News Nation or anything in terms of like what's now coming out and what people have been uncovering, and I've been wanting to just go over it myself without being tainted by other people's opinions first and just kind of see what I think. So it's taken me a little bit longer probably than, huge news corporations, but I do think I'm doing a thorough job. So I want to be able to continue kind of digging through them because I think that they have like important information. So what I'm going to plan on doing tonight is I'm going to if we're flying Boeing, I'm not going. That's true. Yeah, fuck yeah. But it's also been like now different companies, right? Like, because I mean, I guess I don't know for sure. Like, Boeing had a bunch of like weird stuff and they had whistleblowers too, but like a lot of the flight incidents that have been happening recently have been on like helicopters. And I don't know if Boeing makes helicopters, but I do know like Boeing is like another huge fucking company that is like was really used and like in cahoots with the American government that has ended up being like basically a flop. And that's true with so many things that the government has done, like even with US Steel, like it got pretty involved with some of that and like just definitely like was able to encourage and support like workers being exploited. But so yeah, I guess I'll just jump right into the documents. Okay, so what I did is I started, there's like 280 documents from Pullman. The Pullman Police Department just released them. And like, if people don't know, Pullman is across the state lines into Washington. And it's like probably like a 15-minute drive away from Moscow where the murders took place. And they, so most of the information had been coming from Moscow Police Department, but it does seem to be that I started noticing it like similar to what I was just talking about just before about how so many different agencies are involved. Like it seems to be the same thing with, especially bigger cases, like the Koberger case that seemed to have like a lot of different involvements from, like the Washington State University Police Department, which is like on campus at WSU where Brian went to school. And then there's also the Pullman Police Department. And then there was like the Moscow Police Department. And then there was like special forces teams that were like put together with individuals from like all these other different, agencies and blah blah blah. So, then it says I don't fly anymore, getting too fat. My arms get tired. Your arms get tired from what? Like just being stuck in the seats? Um, Yeah, like I used to fly a lot, and I guess I don't mind it, but I definitely like road trips, but I also like leaving the country, so it's kind of hard to do that, but like without taking a flight. But they can be just like, I mean, that's like why we definitely need to invent like teleportation. Because I mean, that's the thing that's so crazy. Like I was talking to my dad about that like this weekend is we were watching, he's like obsessed with NASA and like World War II and blah blah blah. I'm flapping my arms so I can fly. That's awesome. Don't do one of those like what do they call them? Like the Red Bull like flight suits or whatever, like those base jumping people. They like all die. And they do look like they kind of look like flying squirrels, but um yeah, like okay, so anyways, I'm gonna jump into so I took notes on all of the documents that um came out that were like the 280, and then I think I will pull up the documents that I wrote notes like about what they're important about. So I think what I'll do is just like go over it, um, kind of just read over the notes that I took about it. So, all right, so document is okay. I don't think I took really great notes, it looks like, but it says number three, you flew everywhere where you're in special ops. Oh, I bet. Like, did you fly mostly in the Middle East or oh, wingsuit? Yeah, hell yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, I was okay, yeah, interesting. And they like started having motorized ones too. Like I remember last year hearing about like this incident with this guy who had like a you know back motor pack or something in a wingsuit, and then it sounded like it just like something went wrong, or it was like I think it might have been operator error, but like he ended up like kind of jumping up, and then he just like slammed directly into the like ground, like going I don't know like 30, I don't know what however fast the motor was having him go. So I was like, ooh, that sucks. And he was like pretty young too. It was sad. Um, Me too, Landon. I like, I don't want to brag, but when I was like in my 20s, I was like obsessed with traveling. I just worked at a bunch of different restaurant jobs. Like I was a bartender, and then I had like a second serving job all the time, and like also did other random stuff, and just like ended up. I think I wrote in my, well, it's lame. I've written, well, I don't think I have written this on my any of my dating apps, but like I wrote it on my application material for my internship for the education that I got, the PsyD, like doctorate in clinical psychology. And I think it's like I've been to 29 different countries. So not to like brag, but and I also lived in Alaska, and I would like love, love, love to keep traveling, but I just don't have the money to. But if anyone wants to like freaking pay me to travel, like I will go anywhere you want me to. Like honestly, I would like that would be my dream job is to like be able to like travel and like whatever. But you too, Landon, you're awesome too. Um, yeah, I like lived in India for like 3 months, and then went to China for study abroad, and then did a bunch of Europe backpacking shit, and also did like some shit down in South America. Like I went on the Nile for like a long ass time and got like we all got like food poisoning. And anyways, we've had like I've had quite a few adventures, and it sucks because I feel like I'm not having adventures anymore, but I know it'll come back around when like kind of COVID fucked everything up with that too. But all right, anyway, so onto the Pullman documents. There is on the document number three is a case report, and it's 48 pages. It says accumulation of a bunch of police reports related to the burglary in Pullman on 10/10/21 at 3:30-ish a.m. Okay, so this is interesting. Um, Denial. Funny, that's funny. Oh my gosh, actually, I just watched the craziest documentary this weekend with my parents, and it's called Big River Man. I'm gonna rate it. And it's like free on YouTube. and I highly recommend it. And um, the guy's name is, fuck, what's his name? Martin. And he's like my hero, and I like kind of hope he's kind of like my spirit animal. But Big Riverman. Anyways, you guys should watch that, and I mean, if you want to watch it, I recommend it, and report back and let me know what you think. On YouTube. Yeah, this like super old alcoholic fat guy who's like a marathon swimmer, like ended up he's like swam down like all of the longest rivers in the world, and he did the Nile. No, 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 not the Nile. Fuck, I meant Amazon. And that's also I meant Amazon when I was talking about the traveling that I did in South America too. It was on the Amazon, but um yeah, this guy like goes all the way down in the Amazon. He also does the Mississippi and the Yangtze and the um what is the one in Europe, like Danube or Danube or something like that. Anyways, he's a cool guy. It's interesting. Some of it gets like pretty hardcore, but anyways, okay, so what's worth probably bringing up is okay, so what a lot of I would say from what I can remember and like as I go over my notes, like we'll probably more stuff will probably come out with that, but the two main things that I thought were discussed in these 250 documents were related to, well, basically just a shit ton of information requests about Brian Koberger from like everyone and their mom. And then um, a lot of documents and like dissemination logs and records request for this incident that I'm talking about right here, which is a burglary that took place in 2021 in October. That is significant for, I think it's definitely significant, but it's not like um, overtly significant or like explicitly related. But yeah, and then okay, see you later, brutally honest. Thank you for stopping by. Peace and love. Appreciate you. Um, So, yeah, and then also it came out that Brian Koberger interviewed with the uh, Pullman Police Department for a like fellowship position, like kind of like an internship position with the Pullman Police Department. And then so it was a bunch of information and like collecting documents about that, and then also all of the different records requests like surrounding that particular incident. And like really the Pullman Police Department doesn't seem to have a lot of information on, like they didn't seem to really want to get involved with the stuff that was going on at Moscow, but it's weird because they seem to kind of get involved a little bit with it. But okay, so maybe I'll pull up that, and then oh, fuck me. Okay, open with Premium. Perfect. Okay. And then I'll share this. Come on. My computer. I'm like, I have like three different screens going in, and I feel like it's like, screw you. Oops. It's not what I want. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Yep, cool. Thank you for your patience. Alrighty, then I'm gonna try to figure out how to share. Oh wait, hold on, hold on. Oh damn, did that not work? Okay, can you see me at all right now on the screen, Landon? No, it doesn't look like it. Damn it. What the hell? When is it always that like that? La la la. I'm sorry. I like was doing fine with StreamYard, and then all of a sudden StreamYard was like, "Oops, you can't use this for free for more than 20 hours." And I was like, "Damn it!" And I had tried to do OBS, which I'm using now, like before, and it like fucked me over, and it took me forever. And I just was like, "Screw it, I'm not using it. I don't even know why they're trying to tell me to use it." And so then I went to StreamYard, and then I was like, "Oh, I guess that's why they said OBS might be a better option." But anyways, I'm just dumb when it comes to technology. So let's see here if I can do. Okay, maybe this. Nope. Perfect. Okay. That's working, I think. And yeah, let's do application. No, let's do display capture. Do you. Okay. Cool, cool. And let's see. Oh, okay, cool. So you can you see me and you can see the oops. Oh, that's smart, Landon. Does that not matter? Like if yeah, that's smart. But and that doesn't affect me at all with like yeah, no, I guess I would just have to yeah, no, I just could use two different accounts. That's a good idea. Thank you. I'm gonna try what the hell here. I wish oh, that's so weird. Okay, wait. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. Alrighty, perfect. Wait. Yeah. Cool, cool. And then I'm gonna check. Okay, wait. And then I'll just do no, that's not it. God, oh, here we go. Oh, I know, I know. This, okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry. I don't know why I am so done with this. Just these new little kinks, you know. It's the steep kind of learning curve with some of this shit. Like I trained as a clinical psychologist. I'm not trained as like any type of media creator, you know. Alrighty, sweet. So let's go over. Okay, perfect. Okay, fine. Love that. Okay. Yeah, it is crazy to learn Landon. Like, it's a lot for sure. Like, and I feel like it's always been that way. Like, yeah, I like feel like I'm a weird spot in the discovery and like comeuppance of technology and computers where like I didn't grow up with computers and then like they didn't start getting super super important until you know I was probably like late 20s or mid 20s. So when I went back to school and like even now I'm kind of like what the fuck like because I wasn't really I didn't care, but now I'm like whoa like everyone uses it for everything, you know. But Okay, so here is this report. It's 49 pages, and here we go. So there was a burglary, and what I think is noteworthy about this incident, and I think other people have discussed it as well, because so what I realized ended up happening is when people like would like contact the Pullman Police Department to get the records about Koberger, like they would say, "Can you please give us any records that like your city has that have ever brought up the name like Brian Koberger, or if he's ever been, like I don't know what they do in the cities, but apparently like, they have different kind of like labeling systems and whatever. They watch you, like trust me. If you don't think they are watching you, they for sure are. Everyone's like, oh, I'm important enough for them to watch. And I'm like, it's like not just you though. It's like they want all of us to just be at their beck and call type of deal. But anyways, so this one is a burglary three. And so yeah, the reason why this came up is because they started thinking they started considering that he might have been the perpetrator in this. Um After he was arrested for the Idaho 4 incident. So they were just kind of they were looking at like cold cases because I think a lot of times they do that when they catch like a serial killer or something. They'll go back into like where the person was like reportedly living during certain times and then checking to see if there's any like unsolved cases or like similar in pattern and stuff like that. So that's what they did for Brian, and he was a person of interest for a little while because this is an unsolved incident that happened, and it happened on the at a house like right by the Idaho 4 house, and um, it was about a house with there was four female roommates, and then there was also it was like a duplex it sounded like, and then so there was like a Mexican dude it sounds like that lived upstairs, or a guy that definitely spoke Spanish. Maybe he was from like South America, and he worked in the restaurant, and like I definitely know that I guess um lifestyle. Like I don't know, I used to work like I said, in restaurants for like 15 years and like hung out with a lot of, I don't know, South Americans and Mexicans. I dated a lot of them and like partied with a lot of them. And the way that I heard him like in his interviews with these police officers, like it like really pissed me off. And so I kind of want to talk about that too, because I just feel like this is like just a really good example, even though it doesn't really have a lot to do with the Koberger case necessarily. I think it is a really good example of like ACAB and like how police are horrible and like why the system's like totally unfair and biased against like, non-white people and um, people that can't speak English or aren't male or, you know, aren't affiliated with like other types of groups or you know what I mean? Anyways, so the address is on it's in oh wait a second. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I guess I'm dumb, but I didn't realize this, but the burglary was actually in Pullman, not in Moscow, but it was for girls that lived there and they were all college students. Maybe they must have been college students at WSU. And look at all these responding officers. That's like a lot of people that showed up there. And I don't know because there's so much information in all of these in so many documents, like I didn't really pay super close attention to some of the names on here and I don't know enough information to really get into the nitty-gritties of the um especially the Pullman Police Department, um, but that might be something to pay attention to. But what happened was there was well, we'll just read it. So, oh, that sucks that they kind of gave out all of her information. That I'm sorry that I shouldn't be showing that. I did black out and redact like over 200 words in the whistleblower document. It wasn't pretty. So here he is, yeah, Brian Koberger. He is, it says other. I don't know what that means, but um, and then in Angel, or Miguel Morenos is the guy that they no, he was the buddy of the guy, like Jose Cruz, I think, was the guy that lived above, yeah, person of interest, lived above these ladies. And so Jose Cruz and then also Miguel were hanging out, and like I think they were definitely like suspected. And then these are the four people that the four women that are considered victims, but I think there was maybe only two people that were home, which that seems a little confusing to me. I'm confused about that, but we can read about that. So, and then I think all of these now after this are just people that have been requesting records about this incident. So, um, yeah, like dating back to, I guess, 21. These people are, because that was before the Koberger thing, but is right after the, oh, that's interesting. Look at on 11/16/22, Moscow PD asked for it. So that's like 2 days after. So I wonder if they looked at all the stabbing cases or unsolved cases or something. Okay, so here's narrative, and then they say it's officer born camera, but like you really don't see a lot of it because they have to redact like any video in people's houses, which I don't know. I get it, but I also feel like I initially I thought that body cameras would be really good and like it would really help with like cops taking a little bit of accountability and like but now that they've been out, like it just seems more of another tool for the law enforcement, like to be able to like control the narrative and the situations, like because it's like they don't need to release certain video if it doesn't go along with their narrative, you know what I mean? And especially now that we're seeing in this case, like, and how easy it is with AI and stuff to like just mess with different um technology stuff, that it's like I don't know, like I just don't really trust the body cameras anymore. And maybe we should go off of like eyewitnesses or unbiased eyewitnesses or something. So, anyways, this is Officer Harris, and that is one of the people that responded. And I'll just read out the narrative about this burglary because it is pretty weird. So, it says unknown person entered the residence, brandished a knife in the bedroom, and left. No suspects or leads. Case inactive. On 10/10/2021 at about 3:30 hours, Pullman officers responded to this Ash Street for a report of a burglary in process. Dispatch said the complaint reported her roommates just saw a male with a ski mask and a knife in the house. So that's kind of the same thing that Dylan said. Um, and now I'm confused, but I think it's this case where it's like specifically a maroon ski mask. So, anyways, it says upon arrival, I met the female who saw the suspect, Alex Miller, at the back door. So, okay, this was the roommate that I think. Well, hold on. I directed the four residents of the residence to their vehicle in the back driveway. They required we search the resident. They requested we search the residence. I asked them to stay in the vehicle with the doors locked as we searched. Officers searched the residence and did not find anyone inside. I spoke with Miller. Miller said she was asleep in bed in her room in the basement when she awoke to her bedroom door being open. Okay, so this is just um one of the roommates of the actual, I guess they're all victims, but the woman or the yeah person who was actually like attacked in bed or like attempted attacked in bed. Um, she said when she saw a person enter the room and approach her bed, she said the person was wearing a full. Wait. I think this name is wrong. No, I'm confused. Damn it. Is it really Miller that? Hold on, let's go up here because. Okay, here we go. So we have Miller, and then a merchant, a Dowling, and a McCullough. I thought it was Sadie. Well, okay, let's just see. So it sounds like Alex Kimberly Miller is the person who was in the bedroom at the time. And she is giving this account. And she said she was in bed in her basement and that um, she woke up and her bedroom door was being opened. And she said she saw a person enter the room and approach her bed. She said the person was wearing a full face burgundy ski mask and was holding a knife in their right hand. She described and demonstrated the person holding the knife up to their right, yeah, up to their right with the blade coming out of the bottom of their right fist. She said when the person got to the edge of her bed, she kicked them in the stomach. She said that the person fell back against her closet, but was still standing. She said the person immediately booked it, leaving the room rapidly. She heard them run upstairs. I'm kind of confused about like what this building looked like because it sounds like there's an upstairs and a basement with this apartment, and then it sounds like there's also an upstairs with the like Miguel, like the guy that they kind of suspected. But I guess maybe it's a duplex and like the bottom duplex just has the basement as well. Maybe that's the case. So anyways, um but how fucked up is that? Like that would be so terrifying. She said she said the person, yeah, she said the person was silent and did not say anything the whole time. Miller said that she then put on pants and went into Sadie Merchant's bedroom. Okay, so Sadie Merchant was the girl that was also in the apartment at the time that it happened, but she didn't see the suspect. Um, she said she told Merchant what happened and Merchant called the police. She said while Merchant was on the phone, her other two roommates, Caitlin Dowling and Alyssa McCullough, arrived, which is also weird because is this like at 3:30 in the morning? Like, what do you mean they arrived? Like, were they not at home? Like, how did they get there so fast? Like, how did they know this was going on? But I'm sure that there's like a reasonable reason for that. Like, maybe they all called that. I don't know, but that just seems weird. Miller said the back door of the residence was unlocked prior to Downing and McCullough getting home. So they could have just, but what we find out later is like one of the basement windows was messed with. So I don't know if they did come in through the unlocked back door. Maybe they left, but that way. But Miller described the suspect as about 5'3" to 5'5", which is totally way, 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 way shorter than Koberger. And she did not know if they were male or female. And that's interesting too. She said they were wearing a burgundy full face ski mask and what might have been a dark crew neck sweatshirt. She said they were holding a knife with a blade similar to but slightly larger than a typical steak knife. Scary. Miller did not have any suspects. She said her roommates sometimes played pranks at her, but never like this, and would not have taken it this far. She said she had been part of the sorority her roommates were in, but Miller was not currently a student or part of the house. That's kind of interesting, too, because that was the same situation with Kaylee. Like she and Xana, like they had both just left. Oh my God, that's super weird, actually. I'm gonna highlight that because that is weird that the people that have left sororities recently like have all been attacked with knives in their bedrooms, like by a like masked intruder. Like that's weird. Or that seems to be like a reoccurring pattern, you know? All right. She said she did not have any problems with the host. She said she worked at Zoe Cafe in Pullman and was going to start work at 6:30 hours. She said she sometimes had customers that were odd or creepy towards her, but she did not think any of them would know where she lived. She said she did not bring anyone home to her home. Merchant told me that she was in the basement, in her bedroom in the basement next to Miller's bedroom. Merchant said that she had been in the bed watching TV but still awake. She said she did not see anything, and the first thing she heard was the sound of someone running up the stairs. Oh my God, that's annoying that I can't really see it. She said that Miller came into her room and told her what happened, and Merchant called the police. I gave Miller my card with the case number and asked her to contact me with any further information. I asked her to lock everything and call 911 if there were any problems. She said she did not know if she and her roommates would stay there or in a hotel. Officers searched inside. Oh my God, this is annoying. Outside and around that neighborhood and did not find a suspect or any evidence. No suspects or leads, case inactive, which to me that's weird to be like case inactive like right away. I guess like is that a different terminology than like case cold. Like obviously it is, but does in like how long does it have to be inactive, you know? Anyway, so that was Ruben Harris that took that. And um yeah. So then we just get a bunch of different accounts from all of the different officers that were also responding to that. So here we go. Here we see one with Officer Engel and basically just saying the same thing. Um, yeah, it says, then he starts listing off all the other people that were there: Officer Harris, Officer Germer, Officer Giel, um, Sergeant Kurt, and searched the residence and found no one inside. I checked here's about the windows. I checked the interior doors and windows. We entered through the back door on the south side. The north side door was deadbolted. Four windows in the in the mudroom assessed by the couch. The south side doors were unlocked. The two southernmost windows, or the west will of the living room, were unlocked. Two windows in both upstairs bedrooms and the bathroom window were unlocked. The basement escape window on the west side, or the something at ground level, was unlocked and resting in a partially open position. That's where I think that they got in. I examined the exterior of the residence and I found that all the second floor windows were at least 6 feet off the ground. Nothing immediately inside the windows was disturbed. It would have been exceptionally difficult for a person to open them from the outside, as they would have had to prop themselves with one arm while opening the heavy windows with the other. The ground outside the basement window was covered in leaves and bark. I did not see any areas where bark was disturbed. So this is Engel reporting about like just the state of the apartment in terms of like entryways. Okay, here's another one. Officer Bashir's. Oh, here. Okay, so this is a narrative that, you know what's really annoying is that like these fucking this stupid highlighting, like for some reason completely makes it look like you can't like see it, you know what I mean? So I might have to switch because I seriously can't read it like any point that's highlighted, which is a problem since the highlighted part's like kind of the important part, obviously. So, um, yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can open them with something else. Open with Google Chrome. Oopsie. All right, this is way better. Okay. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All righty. So, oops, my bad. So much better. Okay, so this is Bashir's officer. Supplemental narrative. This is on like the next day, the day after. Officer Bashir spoke with Alex Miller and her mother, Kelly Miller, by phone about the status of the case. They had concerns that the downstairs neighbor could look into her room while he smoked outside. Okay, see, that's the thing that's confusing to me. The downstairs neighbor, but like yet they're sleeping in the basement. Like, I like would love to see the layout of that house. Um, okay. So yeah, they thought like, oh, they had sounded like they had noticed him like a couple of times before. And I do feel bad for this guy because it does make sense that they would like consider him in the beginning, but I think he kind of got like strong-armed. I don't know. I feel like he was definitely not treated fairly in this investigation, and I'm really glad that they didn't end up actually arresting him because it would have been bullshit. But the way that they even interacted with him was bullshit. So, anyways, so yeah, the girl and her mom were talking about it, and like they noticed that he had smoked outside of her window before. And they also asked questions about home security systems and cameras. I provided I provided Alex's contact information to ATVP. I don't know what that is. What is this? And about 1100 hours, I went to back to the place, and I went to the lower unit occupied by the neighbor. Okay, so there is a lower unit, but is he below the basement? Like, you know how that's weird. Um, I contacted a male there who identified himself to me with a Washington ID card as Jose Cruz, from born in 19 or 81. So that would have meant he was like almost 40 or something at the time. He had a strong Spanish accent and said he didn't speak English well, which good for him. And it's very evident that he does not speak English well at all. So this like person is commenting there was a language barrier, but I was able to communicate. No, you weren't. Like this is what this pissed me off. It's like that's why I wrote no. Um, because like how can you say that? You know what I mean? Like obviously people I think a lot of people that don't speak a language very well, like just pretend that they understand what's going on. But when you actually talk to them like afterwards and are like trying to, follow up about something or ask them about the conversation, they'll like have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And it's like, oh, so you really didn't understand like what we were saying, but they play around like along so well. Like I think feel like even like my mom is legally deaf and she does the same thing. Like she'll just like she doesn't want to bother people and she's like really deaf, so she'll just kind of like smile and nod, but I know she's not picking up on anything, and then she'll ask just like off the wall questions about stuff. But oh, thank you, Landon. Okay, so in a police report, ATVP refers to alternatives to violence of the police. What's police? Alternatives to violence of the police. Oh, is it police? No. Yeah, what is police? Can you tell me more about that, Landon? If not, I'll ask ChatGPT, or I can just Google it too. So anyways, yeah, I think that that's exactly what happened here, and it's bullshit because this dude is super lucky, I think, that he didn't get arrested for this because the way that the cops like interacted with him and like, I mean, they basically set him up to like be wrongly incarcerated and like found guilty. Um, you don't know. Okay, let's ask real quick. What the hell is a police? Oh my God, of course, dude. That's fucking weird because that's what my shit is. I didn't know that there was a word for this. Dude, that's what like all my like recent lives have been called is like weird shit happening in the like Pacific Northwest. Like I've definitely noticed that there is like a bunch of weird shit happening in like this specific region, and apparently it's the name. Oh wait. Okay, so ATVP works as a liaison between survivors of sexual assault, domestic violence, and other dangerous or unhealthy situations like stalking. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Like a liaison between law enforcement and the victims, because that's a good idea. Um, but yeah, the Palouse is described as primarily encompassing, it's in the northwestern United States, primarily encompassing parts of north central Idaho, southeastern Washington, and by some definitions, parts of northeast Oregon. And it is characterized by gentle rolling hills covered with wheat fields formed from wind-blown dust and silt known as loess. It's a significant agricultural area producing primarily wheat and legumes. Historically, it transformed from undulating prairie into one of the nation's premier dryland farming and ranching districts between 1860 and 1920. Shout out to Landon and the ranch, right? The Pacific Northwest Ranch. That's cool. You should know what a Palouse is then. Um, so did they reference this Palouse shit? Or no, the AVP. Oh, okay, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. They also asked questions about home security systems and cameras, and I provided Alex contact information to ATVP. That's a good idea. Because I'm sure that those people that work there will like be like, yeah, this is the best way to go about securing yourself against stalkers and blah blah blah. Um, I think Minneapolis has something like that because, well, that's a whole other story that I don't need to get into, but at least not tonight. So, anyways, there was a language barrier, but I was able to communicate, which is bullshit. He said he lived in the apartment by himself. His wife lived in town, but they were separated. You help me learn stuff too, Landon. We're both learning together, which means we're creating core memories together. Yay! And it's like important stuff to like learn too, I think. But yeah, I definitely like to know random information. Um, so he was separated from his wife. I asked Cruz if he heard or saw anything suspicious on Saturday night. He told me no. I asked where he was that night. He initially told me he worked until 2 o'clock at Rancho Viejo. He then said he worked until 22:30. He said that he went to timber that night until about 2 o'clock with his friend Miguel. He spent the night at Miguel's house after they left timber. He said he didn't come home that night at all. Which, okay, so that whole paragraph is completely inaccurate. Like, I actually heard the interview with the follow-up interview with Jose. And oh wait, hold on. Yeah, with Jose, and he was like, I didn't say any of that. And they were like, yeah, you did. And he was like, no, I didn't. And like I can totally tell it was probably just a complete language barrier because you can see what they reported here is confusing, but like what he actually said. So what actually happened is he says, so here he says, I asked Chris if he heard or saw anything, blah blah. I asked where he was that night. He initially told me he worked until 2 o'clock at Rancho Viejo, which no, like he didn't. I think he said he was like out until 2. Like I don't know if the guy understood what he was asking. I think he thought like what time were you out until? But like then he corrected himself and he's like, no, 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 I actually worked until 10:30. And then I went to Timber with my friend Miguel and stayed there until 2. So like that is where that comes from. And then he said he spent the night at Miguel's house after they left Timber. He said he didn't come home that night at all. Well, no, like when he was explaining himself in this follow-up like interview, he's like, no, 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 Miguel spent the night at my house. He came over to my house. We came back here, and I didn't sleep anywhere else. And Miguel like got picked up like later that night, but when I went to bed, he was like waiting for the ride like in the living room or whatever. But this person reports it as like something completely different, and I think really easily could have been just misunderstood like between both of them. Like obviously a lost in translation thing. Yeah, Landon, one of my favorite songs at karaoke is Tenacious D, F her gently. And my favorite line of, well, there's two favorite lines in that song that I like, but one of them is that's fucking teamwork. And it's about like picking something out of someone's tooth. And it's like, I think you got something in your teeth. Can you get it out for me? That's fucking teamwork. And then the other song that I like, line that I really like is the part that goes, um, what's your favorite dish? I'm not gonna cook it, but I'll order it from Zanzibar. But anyways, whenever I hear the word teamwork, I kind of feel like I have to say that's fucking teamwork. Okay, so I went upstairs and spoke with one of the roommates. So this is confusing to me too. Which one of the roommates? Oh, okay, one of the girl roommates. They need to be more clear about that. Yeah, Tenacious D does rock, Landon. I completely agree. And I'm sad they kind of like broke up, but Jack Black's kind of like a bitch, you know. I feel like he's kind of, a little bit of a solo, but I get it. You gotta make the money, but also it's like, fuck the man, you know. Um, and that's what the other dude in Tenacious D thought too, but other people didn't agree, including Jack Black, anyways. Um, I bet they'll get back together like once things maybe die down a little bit. But also, if I was the other dude in Tenacious D, I would be like, no, screw you. You can't have me back. You didn't have me at my lowest, you know. But yeah, like, so, okay, she said she goes upstairs and one of the roommates showed her Alex's room and the locations that Cruz smoked outside. She explained that Cruz used to smoke in front of his door, but they asked him to move so the smoke didn't enter their apartment. He then moved around to the side of the house on the grass near Alex's bedroom to smoke. She said he didn't speak much other than to say hello, probably because he didn't speak any English. You know what I mean? And it was like, it sounds like he's being respectful. Like, he was smoking in front of the door and then they were like, don't do that. And so then he had to go somewhere else. And now it puts him like actually at a window because he can't like smoke in front of the front door. So like if they're gonna sit there and be like, oh my God, he's like so weird. He like, looks in my window all the time. But it's like, no, they're like confirming that, they were the ones that actually asked him to move. And he wasn't like trying to holler at them all the time. Like he didn't hardly ever talk to them because it sounds like he probably doesn't like really know English, you know? Anyways, it says later I checked Cruz's name. I noticed that in May of 2017, Cruz was suspected of entering a neighbor's resident and watching her sleep. I would like to see that case, but I mean, that just seems weird to me because that was the one thing that I'm like, that is weird, but like, I wonder what the story is about that. Um, I mean, that is weird, like, and the peeping behavior is strange, but like, the same thing could maybe be said of him in this situation too, so. I think it'd be good to get both sides of the story anyways. So, oh yeah, I say question mark. I should be writing notes real quick about what I need to follow up on. Follow up on page 9, doc 3, case of peeping Tom and Miguel. No, no, no. Jose. Okay. No, Cruz. Damn it. Fuck. What? Okay, I'm confused. All right. La 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 la. All right, so now this is another one by B. Banks. This is on 10:15. This is a person that was assigned to follow up. So now when I was referencing the conversation that was had later with him, and I realized that when she said, or when that officer was like, he totally understood me. It's fine. There wasn't any language barrier. Like you actually hear in this interview, like where there was a language barrier, obviously, and she just acted like a total bitch to him. And I think that there is actually, yeah, we do need karaoke together, Landon. I would love that. Like, actually, like I was looking into like a while ago, kind of around COVID, like if there was a way, like on Discord or something, to actually do karaoke, and there is, but like then I was like, I don't know. If that would be as fun, like watching people online do karaoke rather than actually being like at a karaoke bar singing with like a bunch of people there. Like I'm not a good singer and but I love singing, so it's kind of better to like I don't know, I just feel like I would be like really I don't know if Discord would be as cool, you know. But anyways, like maybe if I ever do a meetup or something, it could be at like a karaoke bar. Okay. So okay, so this person, BB Banks or B Banks, says that they were assigned to follow up on the case and they went to where dude worked and he spoke with the manager, Pedro Rodriguez, and he showed him Cruz's time card, and it shows that Cruz worked until 22:20. So like he said, um, initially on 10:10, and then Rodriguez said Cruz had worked with Miguel, his buddy, um, and that Rodriguez showed me Miguel's time card stating he worked until 23:30 on that same night. So it sounds like they their buddies, like Miguel and Cruz, like were working together. Sounds like probably Cruz waited around for like an hour until Miguel got off, and then they like went to this other bar together until the bar closed at 2 o'clock, which like I feel like happens every fucking like night off of a restaurant if you work at a restaurant, you know? Especially like I mean I would always do that too, like, oh just wait for me to like get off, or I'll wait for you next door and like come and meet me in like in an hour, like when people's shifts are getting done, you know? So makes sense that they would do that. And then it said, I noticed that the female from Cruz's similar prior involvement, that same case, has similar height, weight, hair, and eye color to Miller, which I was like, okay, that's an interesting observation. But like, I wonder what that, I don't know. That, yeah, anyways. I located a phone number for Miguel and left him a voicemail. Miguel later returned my call and confirmed he worked with Cruz that night. And Miguel said that he and Cruz had gotten to the lumberyard that night and then they had left together around 2. Miguel said they had walked to Cruz's residence at Ash Street. And Miguel said that he called a friend to pick him up and had left together around closing at 2 o'clock. Oh, wait. They walked to Cruz's residence and he called a friend to pick him up and left Cruz's residence around 2:33. So, and the attack happened at 3:30, which also to me, like, you know, would be like potentially a red flag. Like, if, you know, this guy is like just so happened to leave a half an hour before this attack took place, but if someone knew that people were going to be coming home or like saw that people were up still and in a connected apartment in the same building, like maybe they waited until they knew like everyone was in bed or gone, or it could be that like Miguel did it and like is trying to mislead about Cruz and like put it on him, or like they could be like completely telling the truth and like someone waited until 3:30, you know. So anyways, Cruz said he was home alone when Miguel left, and that Miguel said he had been a little intoxicated and believe Cruz had been intoxicated as well. That makes sense. Um, yeah, exactly. I think these, like, yeah, I don't know who's, this whole incident is shady, but I don't know who exactly is the shady one, you know? Anyways, and believed Cruz had been intoxicated as well. Miguel estimated that Cruz had consumed about 5 drinks. Okay, that sounds on par. So on 10/19/2021, I received a call from an unidentified mother who recently visited for Parents Weekend. She told me that she had seen a small, oh my God, this is interesting. She told me that she had seen a smaller white male wearing a burgundy colored hat cleaning up leaves in the area of 415 Northeast Campus Street. She said the male had not done anything suspicious and seemed developmentally delayed. Hmm. This address might be important to look into. Let's see, like in terms of like where it's close to. Okay, page 10. Addie, where of white guy with hat. It is weird that there's a burgundy color hat. Like that does seem specific, you know. Um, yeah, cleaning up leaves in the area and seemed had not done anything suspicious and seemed developmentally delayed. Okay, that's weird. That's like a weird description. On 10/19, I applied for a search warrant for the Ash Street house, for Cruz's residence for a stake type knife, dark colored burgundy ski type mask, and indicia. Oh, okay, like proof of occupancy. And then it says the warrant was signed by Judge Hart on that same day, and they got the warrant, and then this person assisted in serving the warrant that same day along with other officers and detectives. And then it talks about how they located 2 large kitchen knives in Cruz's residence, which I measured and photographed. And then they got a bill to show that there was occupancy, and then later processed the evidence. I later completed the return of service and emailed it to the court for the warrant, I'm assuming. And then he said he spoke with Miller, like the woman who's saw this guy, It went into her room and asked her to estimate the size of the knife. Miller just demonstrated an approximate 5 to 8 inch blade using her hands. So like, that's pretty tall, or that's pretty big. Like that's definitely bigger than a kitchen knife. Like that sounds like a stabby stab knife, you know. So he photographed, or they photographed the estimated estimation without the handle, and Miller could not remember anything additional regarding the knife or the suspect. I later received a call from Kathy Miller, Alex Miller's mother, saying she had heard through the grapevine of another sighting of a male in a burgundy ski mask. All right, so there's like people out there with these burgundy ski masks. I called Miller, who said that she had heard through her roommate that some males living in the area had seen a male in a burgundy ski mask on 10/12 standing outside their window and waving. What? That's so weird. Like, what is that? Like, I want to get some follow up on that. You know what I mean? Like, so there's like apparently like two different sightings of a white dude wearing a burgundy mask doing like weird shit. Like, it just reminds me of like, I don't know, have you ever seen like Drop Dead Gorgeous? It takes place in Minnesota. It's like super funny. But there's like like it's about a small town beauty, or is like the contest that they do in the community like every summer for like, Miss whatever the town is called. And they have to like, it's basically like a pageant, but it's like a community one. And so they have different um uh judges, like, remember like Trump used to also like be involved with some of those. But there was this one guy who was obviously like a pedo, and he was super creepy, and he was like one of the judges, and he had a mentally challenged brother that like went everywhere with him, and it was just kind of like a silly like humor relief. But he wait, why am I, oh, he had this thing where he would always be like, hi, and like just wave, so I'm just like imagining this guy. Hold on. Drop Dead Gorgeous waving overall DD man. Oh my God, I love this movie so much. This is probably my top 5 movies for me. But too bad it doesn't actually have the. Oh my God, here it is. Okay, wait, hold on. This is what I was thinking. Oh fuck, what? Oh, here we go.
Do you judge the pageant every year?
No, I never judged nothing before. Oh, no, we on cops? Are we on cops? Are we on cops, dude? Hank, this here's business. Ah! Mom said not in the head. Well, Mom's dead, so shut your fly trap. I will if you shut your pie hole. Ah. Don't make me take her with the good ones! Don't make me spit you with the good ones! Come on, you want some of this? No!
So, are you excited?
Oh, you bet. We're happier than the day Hanky got acquitted.
Okay, that's not
I
a
feel
picture
like
of
the
him
gameplay.
like actually like waving, but you get the idea, right? When I wish I actually did have him waving though. Oh well, maybe I'm just like even making that up, but yeah, these are the things that I get distracted with. Waving overall. Uh, Stuck on car. Oh my God, and Christy. Oh, this is it. Christy Alley's in it. It is the policy of the documentary crew to remain true. Hold on, this has got to be it. Isn't it a video? Oh my God, I want a video of it. I'll probably get like. Oh, here we go. This has got to be a video. Damn it. It'll probably get me in trouble for um copyright shit, but all right, I should maybe just give up, but Trailer Park Boys. What's that guy's name? Hank. Okay, Hank. Hank. I just want a picture of him waving because it just like totally reminds me of
The tard's pants.
oh, and it's and Brittany Murphy's in it too.
Close up shop. Close up shop. Close up shop. Here.
Okay, this is bad. Oh my god. Okay, this is bad. I mean, I'm seeming like I'm not like I've worked with like I love everyone of all, shapes and sizes, and this is like a very old movie that probably isn't completely PC anymore, and I'm sorry that I thought that all of those parts were the funniest parts. So, I'm sorry. Can I just do okay, I'm just gonna do one.
Do you think that most people would say that teenage beauty pageants are a good idea?
Oh yeah, sure. I know what some of your big city no bra wearing hairy-legged women livers might say. They might say that a pageant is old-fashioned and demeaning to the girls.
What's sick is women dressing like men.
You betcha, Iris.
At the Mount Rose American Teen Princess Beauty Pageant,
I'm Leslie Miller. I'm Amber Atkins. I'm Rebecca Lehman.
there are only 2 rules.
I aim to win.
Winning is everything,
I am the mother of the most talented contestant Montrose has ever had.
and nice girls finish last.
They wanted to see my room and film me for their movie.
They ask you to take your top off. Get the money first.
Ooh, we get a personal consultation with a makeup artist.
Excuse me, Miss Penthouse 98. Put your knees together. I could drive a boat showing you.
For my talent, I'm going to be doing the... Yeah, I'm trying to...
Never judged a pageant before in my life. No way. Never been around young girls.
If you could be any tree in the woods, what kind of tree would you be?
Green. A solid Christian trunk. Long leafy branches to provide shade for handicapped kids on a hot summer day.
Do you like to swim?
Now,
My test costume's done. You're good at something. You better just say it. Bring it on.
the greatest challenge for these girls isn't winning the contest,
I was contestant number 1. That light was meant for my head.
but surviving it.
She got ice, she wins everything, and this time someone didn't want her to win. And they say smoking's bad for your health.
Because the battle between the good and the bad
I sat down to have a beer and kablooey.
is about to get ugly.
I'm gonna quit the pageant. What?
But the show must go on.
Kirstie Alley, Ellen Barkin, Kirsten Dunst, Denise Richards.
Every contestant gonna leave here tonight.
They are all proud to be an American.
Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh yeah, really nervous. It's been about 2 months. I haven't told my boyfriend yet.
Part where they had
How did you know?
the old winner, she was like anorexic, and so like they would bring her, but she had like all of her hair was falling out. I mean, there was like some pretty there's a lot of parts in here that were not appropriate, but yeah, they were like you going down to the Mall of America, and oh, they go Twin Cities AK, or no, fuck, how did it go? Like, oh, going down to the Twin Cities, the Mall of America, aka Tin Cities, or something like that. And which is funny because I actually worked at the Mall of America for 10 fucking years. That's where I bartended, and like I worked all weekends, and they like just really liked me there. And that was the place that I also got the Employee of the Year, if anyone remembers that little story that I told the other day. But I digress. So anyway, so yeah, definitely digress. But burgundy ski mask, standing outside their window waving. So I'm picturing, and it sounded like this other guy was developmentally delayed, that also had like, so I'm just imagining him like standing out the window and just like waving. But I wonder if it was like a creepy thing, and he was like, you know what I mean, like someone that's gonna like do a red rum or like something. Anyways, as I just would need more details to that. I asked Miller to have the males call the PD to gather further information. Miller said she would do so. So, like, I don't think there's any follow-up on that either. As of 10/26, I have not received further reports. On 10/27, I spoke with Cruz at his residence. I had WSUPD officer Eric Lara with me, who is fluent in Spanish. And actually, should I play this interview for you? Do you want to hear it, Landon? Because this is like, I felt like very telling. Like, you can tell that the guy who speaks Spanish is like totally like, what the fuck, you know? He knows that it's shady and that this guy obviously like didn't understand what was being said, and like the other officer was being like such a bitch, and it was like actually it's just like really I am gonna play it because it's just so messed up. Let me find out which one it is specifically. I haven't reviewed all of the okay, here we go. Yep, here it is. Okay. This is like seriously the worst of them all. So it's I'll do it like maybe speed and a half, and then it'll only be like 7 minutes or something. You cool with that, Landon? I hope so, because it's gonna happen. Because I do think it's a really good example of how cops are bullshit. Okay, here we go. My bad. It's getting bored.
Hi, Jose. Do you have a minute to talk to us?
Oh my god.
Oh, do you want to talk out here or inside? I know it's cold. Okay.
I just have to say, ACAB, and especially ACAB, to this Bia, like, if I had to interact with her as Cruz, I'd smack the bitch. Seriously. She's so condescending, and she's totally in the wrong. And she just deals with it super inappropriately, and like it's just a very good example of how people can be wrongly like accused of shit, you know?
Do you mind if we come in or are you coming out? Okay, so I brought Officer Lara with me. He speaks Spanish, so he can help translate if you have any questions about what I'm saying, okay? But because there's 3 of us here, I'm just going to remind you that you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and won't be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney and to have an attorney present before you answer any questions or make any statements. Okay, and you can choose to invoke your rights at any time and not answer any questions or request an attorney.
No, dice que tiene derecho de permanecer en silencio si gusta y tiene derecho para tener un abogado presente y si entiende sus derechos. Sí, así mismo.
Okay.
¿Por qué voy a tener un abogado? What would you lawyer at this time?
It's up to you. It's just because there are 3 of us here and we're talking to you about the incident that happened upstairs. And you probably got the search warrant paperwork that we left. So just so you understand your rights, I want to make sure that I reiterate those to you.
So, el papel que me llegaron es para yo buscar un abogado. So that paper.
Okay, right there is such bullshit. Like she just was like, I just want to make sure that you know your rights. Like I want to tell you you can get a lawyer. And he's like, dude, can you talk to me about this? Like explain it. Like I don't understand what you're talking about. Why would I need a lawyer? And like she just has like a translator there, but it's not like like the way that the translator does it, it's like you can tell it's not like the type of translating you need in a serious situation that they're in right now, where he's like literally being read his like Miranda rights, you know? And she's just like, okay, I just want to make sure that you understand that. And it's like, no, bitch, he doesn't understand. He doesn't fucking speak English.
What is it indicate on that paper? Is that for him to find a lawyer?
No, that's not what that was about.
Ya, porque yo hablé con un abogado ya, pero también quiero saber por qué vinieron a registrar mi casa, porque quiero saber si me están acusando los de arriba, porque vinieron a registrarme toda la casa. No entiendo por qué. So he is just, he doesn't understand why his house or apartment was searched.
Okay, so I talked to Miguel, who you were supposedly with the night that the man came to your upstairs neighbors, And you told Sergeant Brashears that you were with Miguel all night at his house. And when I talked to Miguel, Miguel said that was not true. He said you guys went to the lumberyard and then walked here, and he left at about 3 a.m.
Dijo que habló con Miguel y que Miguel había dicho que no había estado con usted, algo que usted había dicho. Entonces, so I told him about the part where Miguel said he was not with him at what time?
At 3 a.m.
A las 3 de la mañana.
So I go outside, give my friend, Miguel coming in my house, he's coming the bar, so Miguel didn't know how to ride for the house, you know. He's coming here, the bar is closed 12 o'clock in the morning, so coming here, Miguel vino, y estuvo un rato conmigo, ¿no? Venimos caminando de allá, nos salimos a rato de la barra, ¿cómo no va a estar aquí más de las 3? O sea, yo creo que le dio miedo de decirlo, no sé, pero sí estuvo, no sé a qué hora, realmente, pero sí estuvo aquí.
So he doesn't know exactly what time it was, but after the bar closed around 2 o'clock, that's when we walked over here, and he was around here around that time.
Okay. So why did you tell Sergeant Brashears that you stayed at Miguel's house?
¿Por qué le dijo al sargento Bashir que usted se quedó en la casa de Miguel?
No, es que no me entendió.
Okay, he said he
Sí,
didn't.
yo le dije a él que yo no hablo inglés.
He told him that he didn't speak English.
See?
He says that he didn't understand.
Okay. But it was pretty clear.
How do you know, bitch, you weren't there?
¿Sí me entiendes?
He said,
Pero yo sé que por eso le llamaron a él, porque no me entendió. Yo desde un
If they
principio
didn't have a
dije,
translate,
no te voy a entender todo lo
you
que
know,
me vas a
like,
decir,
that isn't
y tampoco te voy
fair.
a poder contestar,
But I'm gonna show
porque
you.
ustedes saben que yo no hablo inglés.
so he's saying that he let Bashir know that he doesn't understand Spanish.
Right.
Or, I'm sorry, English. And he told him that he wasn't going to understand either.
Okay. Because it was pretty clear that you told him that you stayed the night at Miguel's
No,
house.
what, dude, how can you say that if he doesn't know the fucking language?
No, no. Yo le estaba diciendo de que él se había ido a esa hora y yo me quedé a dormir aquí.
He's saying that he left at that hour, that he left Bashir that. He left at that hour, and he was going to stay here.
Okay. Because you told.
Oh my god, bitch.
Yo creo que no me entendió, pero pues yo le estaba diciendo que él había venido aquí a mi casa y que él se fue y yo me quedé aquí a dormir.
He said that he came to his house, and then he left, and then he stayed here. That's what he said.
Okay. Because you told Sergeant Brashears you weren't home. You weren't here at
Dude,
all that
bitch,
night.
shut up. No, he
Usted le había dicho a Sergeant
didn't.
Bashir que usted no ha estado aquí toda esta noche.
No, sí. Yo me quedé a dormir y le dije que me había levantado a las 11 de la mañana para ir a trabajar.
He stayed here, and then he woke up at 11 o'clock so he could go to work.
Okay.
Yeah, so, pero por eso yo quería que si, es más, yo le dije cuando vengas con alguien que sepa español, porque yo no entiendo, o sea, no me puedo explicarle. ¿Sí me entiende?
He said that he told Bashir that when he does come back to bring somebody that speaks Spanish,
Yeah.
because he doesn't understand.
Okay. And that's what we did. So it's easier to
Yeah,
understand.
exactly.
Yeah. So that night, do you remember hearing anything from upstairs?
Esta noche sí escuchó algo arriba. Que
No,
eso
pues yo venía bien
This bitch
tomado,
sucks.
pues,
What's her
aquí,
name?
Miguel estuvo aquí sentado, vinieron por él, se fue y yo me quedé dormido, yo no vi nada. ¿No?
So he's saying he was drunk, and then Miguel stayed at his couch, and he
Brashears.
So Miguel stayed the night here?
No,
for
just said over here, just acting for, just wait for right, you know?
Okay.
So Miguel leave, I go to the restroom, in my bed, he sleep. Because he said, I don't know what I go. He's sleeping, so because I go work.
There were a lot of officers here, and there was a lot of noise shortly after around
He was
3:30. Do you remember
drunk,
hearing any of that?
dude. He was passed out.
Y ellos han oído ruidos. ¿Usted no escucha nada de eso?
Okay. And are you friends with the girls upstairs?
Esa, tiene una amistad con...
Okay.
So, quiero también que, porque yo fumo, y salgo a fumar, y más dos veces que la muchacha me viene a decir que no fume aquí.
So he says that he smokes, and that he goes outside to smoke every once in a while, and then there's been times where she comes out and tells him not to smoke.
But that's all of your interaction with them?
Es la única interacción que tiene con ella.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any more questions for us?
No, que necesito saber qué va a pasar, pues, porque ya van 3 veces que viene. Y yo le aseguro que usted me conoce. ¿Cómo me hacen eso?
He wants to know that it's the 3 times that we come, or... Ellos vienen nosotros.
Because
no, o sea,
they
yo
searched his
venía a
house.
la
Like,
primera
this is
vez,
after they
la
searched his house.
La segunda vez, hasta que abre la casa.
And they didn't find
No,
anything
otra vez,
in his
no,
house
no,
either.
no.
But, like, they were able to get a warrant because of this information that apparently he, you know, conflicted telling the officer. Like, it's just such bullshit. Like, it's just totally not fair. I feel really bad for Cruz.
¿Qué va a pasar?
He said that he's going to insist that we come, and then what's going to happen after this.
So after today, the case will be closed. You're not under arrest. You're not being charged with anything at this time.
El caso va a estar cerrado.
Why would they
¿verdad?
close
No hay
it?
investigaciones para usted. Es nomás para investigar.
Okay. Sí, porque el papel que me dejaron aquí, yo se lo enseñaba. Pregunté a un abogado y pues le pregunté que me diera pues, que era una orden de... Oh, hay una cuestión. No, cuando vinieron a rentar mi casa, me dejaron este papel que yo había perdido.
Okay, so when you guys had come to search the house, that he obtained this paper after he lost the first one.
Well, one there or something.
Okay, we don't need that. We didn't touch it.
Yeah,
Oh my
like
God.
white.
Oh, this paper here?
This papel ya tenía un año de lo perdido.
So that paper, it's been about a year since it's been lost.
Y cuando vinieron a rentar mi casa, me lo dejaron aquí porque estaba la televisión, o sea, a la vista.
So when the apartment was searched, that was left. Are you allowed?
No, me lo dejaron allá.
Okay, when the apartment was searched, this was found in the room over there.
Okay. That just means that we found it. I don't know why either.
¿Y qué buscan?
We didn't leave anything here. We didn't come with anything. So it must have been somewhere and an officer found it, and then that's just where they put it when they left.
I wonder what
Dice
he's
que la
talking
habían encontrado
about.
en un lugar, no, y nomás por dejarlo ahí lo dejaron.
Pero es que no entiendo por qué, si este papel yo ya por un año lo estoy buscando, y cuando era acá en mi casa, está así, ¿verdad?
So yeah, he said he lost that paper and just wondering how it suddenly appeared in the search.
Ya no va.
We just must have found it while we were looking through other things.
So, yo hablé con un abogado y me dijo que lo mismo que me están diciendo, ¿verdad? Pero, o sea, no sé, ya, pues ahorita que vienen de vuelta, y pero pues quieren ir con un abogado y para que me lleve el caso.
So he's just confused, and if he would want a lawyer to take up this case if it was the case.
So you're not being charged with anything right now. I can't make the decision about an attorney for you, but given that the case is closed and you're not being charged, there's no continuing case.
Ahorita el caso está cerrado, que no tiene usted ahorita no hay cargos, no va a haber arrestos, entonces el caso va a estar cerrado. Ella no puede saber si quiere agarrar el abogado de aquí para adelante.
But if you have legal questions about the warrant itself, you could contact an attorney with those questions.
Pero si tiene preguntas sobre el señor que tiene ahí, puede contactar un abogado si gusta usted para si tiene preguntas sobre eso.
Do you have a face mask that you wear at work?
Tiene una máscara que se pone para trabajar.
What color is it?
¿Qué color es?
Las mismas, de tela, negra,
Black.
Okay. Could I see it?
¿No puede ver?
I'd be like, no, bitch. You already had your warrant.
and this, the black,
Okay.
the color.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for your time.
So he has a black one. So that's weird that she reported a maroon one and that other people saw a maroon one and they didn't follow up on that at all. Like, what the hell is that about? And also, look at, there's like another one of those like 4-door white sedans. So weird. So yeah, isn't that annoying as fuck? It's like, dude. That's why I fucking really can't stand police. Honestly, I fucking cannot stand them. Okay, yeah, so this is what she tells in this interview. I spoke with Cruz at his residence. I had Officer Eric Lara with me, who is fluent in Spanish. Cruz mostly spoke in Spanish throughout the interview. Translated by Officer Lara, I Mirandized Cruz. Cruz told me that the discrepancy between his statement and Miguel's versions of events was due to his inability to speak English. I reminded Cruz that he had very clearly expressed to Sergeant Brashears that he was not home at all night and had spent the night at Miguel's, which, so, like, was she even there, like, when he was talking to Brashears, or is this just, like, what she has been told by Brashears, like, you know what I mean? Cruz maintained that he, like, if she wasn't there, how does she know how to judge the situation, you know? Cruz maintained that he had not understood Brashears. Cruz said that he and Miguel had actually walked back to Cruz's residence. Cruz said Miguel had waited for a ride and he had gone to sleep. Cruz denied hearing or seeing anything. Cruz said he had not noticed the police presence or heard the noise. I asked Cruz what type of mask he wears at work, referencing COVID-19 mask mandates. Cruz said he wears multiple masks and showed me a blue medical mask. Cruz said he doesn't talk to his neighbors except when they ask him to move because he is smoking too close to their door. At this time, I do not have PC probable cause to arrest Cruz. No further suspects or leads, which is bullshit. It's like, dude, what about that white dude, you know, with like these same, there's not very many maroon, like, you know, ski masks around, and it's like, what else are they doing? You know what I mean? Are they so busy that they can't do this? No further suspects or leads. Case closed, inactive. Also, I'm just like, who decides to close a case? Like, why? You know what I mean? So, Brianna Banks did that interview. And then here's another one, Detective Santergrath. And it says, Okay, this guy assisted Banks, the woman, Brianna Banks, that we just heard from, with the search warrant at that house for Cruz. And then he talks about how he located Bill with Jose Cruz's name on it and the aforementioned address. And then he talks about where he got it from. And I think that, he's just like documenting anything that he touched, and like he had to grab that letter to prove his residence was at that place, I guess. Okay, and here's from Officer Engel. So this is 1/10/2023. Rashears directed me to follow up on a lead for this investigation. So is this Brian Koberger? On 12/30/2022, Brian Koberger had been arrested for 4 counts of murder, first degree, and burglary for an incident that occurred 11/13/2022 in Moscow, Idaho. An affidavit, see attached file filed in Latah County District by Corporate Brett Payne, noted their investigation concluded Koberger had entered the residence in Idaho wearing a mask and killed 3 college-age women and 1 college-age man using a knife at the women's residence near the University of Idaho campus. And talks about how he started at Washington State in fall of 2022, and that he had gone to DeSales University before that, and then he got his bachelor's degree there and in 2020, and then graduate studies in 2022. And it says that although Koberger would not have been residing in Pullman during October 2021, Rashears advised Pullman Police Department had received information that the WSU Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology may have had an on-campus event for prospect graduate students that Koberger may have attended around the time of this incident, which, just to let you know, that ends up being false, and he wasn't. There was no like evidence to show that he had been in town that weekend at all. I emailed the department's graduate program coordinator, Danielle Macon, requesting information, and Macon responded the following day and wrote the department was looking into his request or their request. And then on 1/19, they received a follow-up email about the request, and it was a forwarded email from the associate professor and chair of the criminal justice and criminology program, Melanie Angela Newely, and it read that the program was not aware of any visit by Koberger during the time period indicated did not hold any recruitment events at that time. So this is just like a follow-up about if he maybe could be implicated in the incident and burglary that we just read about. Okay, this is the affidavit to search for Homeboy's house. So this is Jose. And then it gives just, description of that we just read about it and the doors, and then blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. This is a part that I noted in Cruz's local police record, Spillman, that around 5/8/2017, Cruz was reported by a female neighbor, Rocio Bihina Estudio, for entering her apartment and watching her sleep. Rocio told officers that her roommate told Rocio that Cruz had entered their apartment and watched Rocio sleep multiple times. Rocio noted that their apartment shared a balcony with access to both apartments. Oh. Officers spoke with Cruz, who denied entering Rocio's apartment. I compared the physical descriptions for Rocio and Miller and noticed they were similar. Rocio is listed as 5'2", 150 pounds with brown hair, hazel eyes. Miller is listed as 5'4", 140 with brown hair and hazel brown eyes. Or hazel eyes. Okay. Okay, so that's Brianna, the bitch that we just heard from. And this is them granting them. Oh, wait, hold up. Yeah, granting them permission to do that, but to only look for these 3 things. And then there's some emails like where they forgot to ask to look for steak knife. So they called it in and got it approved like a couple days later. So I think we might see records of that. Yeah, it's like, so Judge John Hart was like, yeah, here you go. And then she's like, blah, 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 adding this. And then Oh, the landlord for the place. What is this? Oh, this is following up about, yeah, that, yeah, they were like, no, no, no. What is this? Oh, yeah, this is weird too. I'm like, what? So there was a statement on the arrest of Kohlberger. Oh, it was from, was it DeSales? Yeah, this is from DeSales University. I don't know why they included that. So this is the PCA of Brian Kohlberger, so I'm not going to go over that. And we've all been read through that a bunch, but they included that. And it's all bullshit that we know of too. What does it say? I don't even know what I wrote there. Yeah, all this bullshit, surveillance cast bullshit. Oh my god, oh my god. I have so much information on that shit. It's so annoying. Okay. La, 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 la. All right, so that's it for that document. Alrighty, so then for the next document, I say, all right, evidence.com assumption log. Okay, so then they would like, oh, then they also added documents that explained where and why all of the redactions were made in the information that was shared with the public. And then there is a copy of the radio log. So all radio calls from people related to this case, like people calling to check out cars, indicating when they arrived certain places and when they received calls, etc., etc. So I think what that means is that it this is the radio log for the robbery and all of the like going ons with law enforcement and calls to the house and like follow-ups and stuff about that particular incident that came up in their radio log, I'm pretty sure. Let me open it just to make sure. Oopsie. So yeah, how many pages is this? Yikes, it's 56 pages. Here, I'll show it to you guys. Yeah, I don't honestly know what any of this shit means. Oh yeah, they have codes for everything. Call type 1, and then so that must mean like where like a call is initiated or something, and that means like, or maybe like it means, yeah, like it means that they're asking like, and there needs to be a follow-up or something like that, and then it tells like, the code of like where the call was left, so that is completed call. And then there's like different IDs for them and the departments, because it's probably like, well, it says Pullman radio, no, police department main radio log. Okay, yeah, anyways. This one says driver's license inquiry for Elisa McCullough. And that was on 10:10 at like 4 a.m. So like right after the incident happened. So yeah, this is like them just like keeping in touch, bringing them into the dining room, blah blah blah. Like if they were, or innocent side in 69, 3:30 cover, 1 4 corner. Weird. Oh, arrived on scene. Inside got kitchens too. So separate unit with outside access cannot be accessed. Arrived on scene. Outside back door. Okay, so it's basically them just like letting everyone know, like what they're like, hey everyone, I got here. Hey everyone, I'm here. Hey everyone, like this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? That's good that they're in communication. This probably makes things safer. Okay, that's it. So that's the radio log. And then documents 7 through 112. What? Really? They're all, that's a lot. 7 through 112, is that accurate? It must be. All records requests regarding Brian Koberger. So this would be, I'll show you one example of it. It would be like someone calling and, oh my God, what's going on? Um, hold on, so this is an example of one. So this is from the city of Pullman to police records, Pullman. And it is from someone named Noah Corin. So it talks about the reference number, the date it was created, the required date that they have to get back to them, what staff was working on it, and the request details. So this one says, looking for all police reports related to 28-year-old Brian Koberger. His birthday is 11/21/1994. And then, so that's it. But then some of them, obviously have different names and like different request details, but pretty much all of them are pretty like around the same thing. Like, give us any information that you have on Brian. So yeah, that's through document 112, and then on a document 113, there's acceptance of his graduate research assistant position. So I think, let's see. Also, like, if anyone has any thoughts about like how I'm going about presenting the information, like if there might be like a better way that people would rather see it, like each individual document by document or summaries, or if this seems to be like a good amount of sharing of documents and stuff. All right, so there is, okay, so word started getting out that Brian Kober had an interview with Pullman Police Department for a position with the department and some other people. So here's the information about it, and then there's like a bunch of just kind of like what would I call it? Like logistical emails about setting up a time to meet and uh then the people that were doing the hiring and interviewing having some talk back and forth between each other about like questions to ask the interviewees and also talk about like how to schedule meetings and different times and dates that would work with the um, applicants, and then also all the information about the like job description and then like some final up final like follow up like emails from Brian and the man who interviewed him. So it was for the Washington State University Pullman Police Department graduate research assistant. So that seems like pretty cool, especially like if he, like I was a graduate research assistant at the program of human sexuality at the University of Minnesota. It's also the Center for Sexual Health. It's like they're like in the same, it's like combined in the same building, but one is more the like intellectual, I guess, or like academia side of things. And then the other one's like an actual like sexual health clinic. But yeah, I like made really good money and like I would kept getting asked back to do more research and it was like really awesome because at that time I knew I was like interested in forensic and correctional psychology, but also had an interest in like human sexuality and like those did overlap where I ended up doing a lot of psychosexual evaluations like within the correctional system, but it was like a really cool opportunity to be able to be doing that like while I was still kind of continuing my education and with Brian's program being a like criminal justice student, which I also was. Like my background for education is a like double major at the University of Minnesota. It was in psychology and then in criminal justice. But the weird thing at the school that I went to is the criminal justice was actually through sociology. It was like really interesting, like to be able to kind of look at criminal justice from a like broader perspective, not like an actual criminologist, like where like Brian was looking at, but I also did a lot of classes because I had transferred from a school before that did have like an actual criminal justice program that I had a double major with psych and criminal justice, and I think that's definitely more similar to what Brian did, and it was all right, but I preferred the sociology like um classes on it, and then I got my master's in clinical psychology, and then um I was a like candidate for my doctorate in clinical psychology, but then I like didn't finish my dissertation. So um but I still like did all of the training and did all of that fucking research and assistance and like yeah, anyways, so it was I have like spent a lot of time, but anyways, this sounds like it would have been a pretty cool opportunity for Brian. So it's the kind of a bummer that he didn't get it, and I know the feeling. But the guy that is interviewing him is Gary Jenkins, and he is the, I think, like chief of the Pullman Police Department, and it sounds like he is working in collaboration with this criminal justice program at WSU that Brian is in. So I think that the people that had applied to this position probably were all in Brian's program. So they set up a ring video meeting, and then it tells like reasons why it was redacted. Oh, that's it. Okay. Really weird information you should okay, really weird information you should look into in emails from Christopher Robert Neal. What? Okay, let's look at this. I like reviewed these documents like probably like over a week ago now, so I'm like, it's about. All right, so this one says, what the fuck? Okay. What is this guy? Christopher Robert Neal, JD, respiratory law in Wisconsin. Okay, so he's like linking CBS News about Supreme Court building. All right, so he wrote on January 2nd, 2024, residents' life has significantly expanded their staff, and they face all being fired and replace my students, and the resident assistants and other student staff should be returning to campus today or tomorrow to begin services and training. If Griffin Hogan and Jack Van Dam have guns and are concerned, they might choose this moment to act. That is my guess. I worked with them 5 months, sexually harassed and assaulted by senior staff, and Hogan stole my Facebook stories, smart glasses, and so this honestly, this sounds delusional. And my demands to return them on our work social got me banned and threatened to ask FBI or state about me. For now, protect WSU. No Uvalde if you don't act. Please at least use drones. Okay. So that's kind of weird. Like that sounds like almost like a threat to me. But it would be interesting to maybe like follow up on some of these like sites that he listed. Hold on. This is Doc 114. Follow up on links in delusional emails. Because I mean, obviously he's delusional, but sometimes those delusional people like still are like seeing real shit. They're just like misinterpreting it, you know? And maybe they're not. Who are we to say? But let's see here. This is okay. Washington State University Housing and Residence Life has access to Brian Koberger's apartment on campus and could have taken with gloves that they stock his personal knife, which they are allowed to have, and left it underneath the woman who died Goncalves in Idaho without him ever walking into the room. And there are people who are his size and build working now for housing who wearing a mask would have appeared to look like him, and I accused of having a gun. Why? Because he is a criminologist and was close to solving a case on campus per se. This information will raise reasonable doubt and should be offered to the Moscow, Idaho Police Department so that it can get to the attorneys responsible. And as I have open litigations as a Native American directly with these individuals, not through your courts, which I can't trust at the moment because I am also working against state bars of attorneys to clear up their legal status as legal or profiteering. And so I am working directly on my case because I'm trying to do so. It's possible that they took and placed his knife, which is why his DNA is on it. Okay, so that was definitely like delusional and tangential, but he has some good points in there. Like, well, maybe he doesn't. Well, he says that he can't trust courts, so that part's legit. Um, yeah, actually, I spent way too much time on this other document that's in here that's like, oh my God, dude. But I don't know, it's pretty interesting. Maybe I'm gonna like hold off on that document and do that on my next slide because it's like a whole extra section of like 30 pages of research that I did on like all these different recent incidents. And anyways, I don't know if any of them really make sense, but they were kind of interesting because some of the stuff I didn't know about. But yeah. Okay, and then it says 117 document. So I think I started being a little more detailed, but I only started taking notes on documents that I thought were like extra exciting. And if the other ones were just like stupid shit that was like repeated or something, I just didn't even take note of it. So this one says, this is from, oh, okay, no, okay. So one of the people working on Brian's team and with Ann Taylor is emailing this person, the Chris Angle guy. Remember we just saw his name. He was one of the dudes that responded to that burglary. She said, "Oh, so they hired a criminal investigator Oh, wait. She's a criminal investigator for the Kootenai County Public Defender's Office. Interesting. That's cool. Oh my gosh, that'd be a cool job. So she actually like is employed by the defender's office to be a criminal investigator. I like didn't even, I wonder if she has like a background and like I wonder what her background is in. If she's like a law enforcement person, you know what I mean? Anyway, she's like, we are hoping to speak with you regarding your involvement in this case. That seems like a little ominous. Is there a time on Thursday, June 6th that may work for you? If that is not a good day, let us know when would work best with your schedule. So I'm gonna write down to follow up. I don't know, like more details about who this dude is. Look more into. Yeah, this is kind of good to do like a second review because then I think I'm able to kind of decipher repeating names easier now rather than yeah. So I'll look more into. Chris Engel and defense wanting to talk to him about the case. Okay. All right. That's that one. And then it says more doc requests from documents 118 to 125. And then I don't take another note until doc 158. It says interesting email from a psychic about a golf course. Cool. Let's look at that one. So yeah, I think the rest of these are probably just bullshit. Hi Darby. We reviewed the records and we know this shit and can you give us this shit? So this is like all news people requests. Okay. So 158. I think they're all like that. Another doc request or people responding and being like, here, we got that for you. Your doc request. We followed up on the doc request. All right. Oh shit. Brianna Carpenter, who is a police officer from the Pullman Police Department, said, hello, I got a series. Who did she send this to? Oh my God, Brett fucking Payne. Okay. Hello, I got a series of emails this morning regarding the Koberger case. Since we don't have access to the case to attach the emails, I called over there and was told to forward them to you. In total, there will be 7 emails. Happy reading. Hey, well, that's weird. So why wouldn't they have access to the case? I mean, do they usually have access to shared cases? Like, I thought they were trying to be better about like working together and shit. And it's like weird that she's like, hey, I don't know where I have access, but I'll send it to you. Like, is everyone saying just send it to Brett Payne? So like, was he just like, was Brett Payne like, yes, I will do everything and like just became in charge of everything and like so he could fuck with shit? That's just obviously me like making stories up, you know, that's fiction. So here is an email from what? From Hidden Queen. Brenda Messenger? Okay. Oh, oh my God. Okay, Brenda Messenger, Hidden Queen. This is the psychic. Okay. And it's to Brianna Carpenter about the Koberger case. This is a psychic saying, hello, thanks for taking my call this morning. I woke up with a memory pressing me about specific information I communicated via email to Chief Fry in the 6 weeks following the Moscow student murders. In total, a series of 13 dreams and info surrounding the case. The first being a premonition 2 nights prior, the second 4 nights after being seen the perpetrator, Mr. Koberger, in my sleep, and a very accurate description, which my own AI rendition on first attempt nails quite accurately, and series of related facts and situations surrounding the case, including a student housing lease, hustle, and other clues which I have passed along. A student housing lease hustle. Whether or not my experience, both while sleeping and much channeling while awake, has been taken seriously, I do not have confirmation from police on However, I know when I felt a push info, which I did through a Utah State Police report following my sixth dream, and no FBI was available that day in the building here in Murray Mid Valley. And I felt to stay put. He was on the move, and within that weekend, my stressed energy lifted, and within 2 days, he was arrested, which was quite a satisfying relief. I had received the name Brian, spelling, no bitch, it's B-R-Y-N. If you're psychic, you should know that. No, I'm just kidding. Channeling and psychic stuff is not like that. Not that I would know or anything, but so easily I had not reported that detail. Anyway, I have stayed quiet as the talk and YouTube videos and news has blown up on this case. I do have some online interference at times, which is likely due to my international travel and work. Although I am not affiliated or employed by any government or special interest company corporation, just the biggest special interest being our Lord. Okay, lady, whatever. But I agree with her. I have that feeling sometimes too that there's online inference at times. Maybe it's due to my international travel and work. Who knows? Okay, so this morning I feel again I need to reiterate. This is still the psychic lady in case it was overlooked because I received no confirmation back. This is so funny. I love that. That is hilarious. On a dream I had that I reported in the series of spiritual downloads to the case, which I strongly feel involves the Palouse Ridge golf course there behind campus in Pullman. Oh my God. Palouse. That's fucking weird that we just literally like Googled that earlier, right? Okay, and then there was also this other thing, like, and I can't like I'm not gonna be able to explain it right now because it's just like so off the wall, and like I do have to figure out a way to be able to retrace my steps and like show you guys the steps that I took to kind of coming across some of this information. But some of my earlier research like kept coming across golf like courses and like references to golf and like golf clubs. So it's like weird that she did mention that. So maybe I'll just be like golf references. Look further into on my ship or in my ship. Okay. Okay. I think it could be murder weapon related. Ooh, interesting. So also there has been some, I guess, talk in the streets about what could have potentially given the additional extensive injuries to Kaylee's face, because it's kind of come out recently that it sounds like there might have been two different weapons used on her, and whatever happened to her face was like so bad that she like couldn't even be recognizable. And like people, I said, think there was like a Reddit thread, and people were like, well, what could that have been? And like people kept suggesting like the butt of a gun or like the butt of a knife, and I was like, I just feel like that would be really difficult to like completely squash a face. Like what, like to me that means like that would be like someone taking a frying pan and like hitting her across the face with it. But then someone mentioned, and I like later on about how someone suggested possibly a golf club, like a putter. And I know that Ethan really liked to golf, and like there was also I think something in the very beginning where people were talking about golf clubs like being around like in some pictures or like being taken as evidence, and so that was kind of weird too. But I do feel like that could potentially make sense if that is the second weapon that was used on Kaylee's face. Um, and it's interesting that this person is saying I think it could be murder weapon related. Anyways, what I saw is a tee off location. That's fine. What I saw is a tee off location that the structure, low angle roof, pinkish hue building, which I thought was colonial style, but could be Santa Fe. Possibly the clubhouse, because in my dream it was vacant, seasonal or not, unsure. That building being to my right of the hole or tee off. I'll have to find the original sketch. And to my left, that's funny. Yes, please attach the sketch. I would love to see that. And to my left, this slight distance is trees and residential, and also further past center. I had two dreams on this detail, one being the one person I would relate to golf and his legs turning as if swinging in a tee off. So interesting to me. Like, I feel like, what if he was standing above Kaylee doing that? Um, I called Chief Fry and left a message this morning and then realized I actually should forward this to your department, actually. Get a metal detector if the weapon has not been found and check that area. I feel Koberger kept the knife the first night getting off on his crime. I was even dizzy with the taste of blood and oogie in my stomach, but then ditched it in a place near him he could keep it. I have references here with authority if you need those to legitimize me. Madison County on day bail facts proven here in Utah with two agencies. I could be wrong, but in what I unintentionally do, I have to be willing to be. And this is worth checking out. I know the difference between random dreams versus revelation I get. Thank you, and please confirm this was received. Donna Brandilin Messenger from Sandy, Utah. I was like, there's a couple of psychics that I've watched on this case, and like, I don't completely discount them. Like, I don't think they're obviously like, they can't be used as like hard evidence, obviously, and like, a lot of times they aren't completely accurate, and I haven't completely figured out like how to figure out like what's like a real kind of, contact versus, or like sign versus just some bullshit. And it was always bullshit, you know what I mean? But there was a couple that I watched that I thought were kind of interesting. So, all right, cool. That is 158. 159 says Sergeant Chris Engel keeps coming up from Pullman. They also ask for Love's spreadsheet. This request was from Brett Payne. Well, let's look at that. Okay. This is from Brett. No, this is to Brett Payne from Deanna Carpenter. Hello, I got a series of emails this morning regarding Koberger's case. Since we don't have access to the case attached to the emails, I called over and was told to forward them to you. So in total, there will be 7. We already wrote those. So here's the one about. Oh, okay. So that's exactly the same thing. Wait, something's wrong here. What is that? Chris Engel, Love, and then who is this person? I'm gonna open this. Shit, where'd it go? Hello, Penny. I was given your information in order to request the following documentation for the Koberger case. The following info is requested by Defense Counsel. Oh, this is Defense Counsel. So to Penny Rebus, Melly Struggle, and then Brett Payne. Interesting. So all reports, video, photographs, notes, communications from Pullman Police Department regarding their involvement in this case, including but not limited to all records from Sergeant Chris Engel. Like, why this Chris Engel thing? And then a copy of Love's spreadsheet as referenced in Sergeant Engel's email to PD officers. Can you help me with this request? I'm happy to come to Pullman Police Department and pick it up if that's the easiest. Thank you. And that is from Corporal Payne. Yeah, that's confusing to me. I don't know the like significance of that, but that seems like a little strange to me, you know. Just gonna be like, this is weird. This seems weird, but don't know why. Shut down these babies. What is this? Oh yeah, the crazy person. Yep, Psych. Asking to meet Engel. Yeah, there's something wrong with Engel, it seems like. I definitely want to look more into that. What's this one? Oh, bullshit. Whatever. Okay, so this is from Penny to Brett Payne saying, sorry for not communicating with you. Here's what I've received from Officer St. Andre. I didn't receive anything from Chris Engel yet, but I know he will be in the office tomorrow, and Kelly Smith will be in at 1400 days, so I'm checking with her to see if Chris emailed her anything. We will keep you updated. Sorry about that. Weird. And then Pullman Police Department Police Officer Love St. Andre said, see attached, and it is. I don't know what the attachment is. Okay, and then this one says both. I don't know what either looks like, but let's give them everything, even if it's duplicates. Thanks. Oh, okay. So they're like, do you want all this? And they're like, she's like, yeah. And then is my spreadsheet referencing the blank one I made or the one I personally filled out? Please gather all. You haven't sent them to me. Kelly is on this vacation this week, so I'm not waiting. Ooh, Penny is like assertive. Hello, Penny. Oh, this is the same request thing. What is this now? Oh, this is the St. Andre's, what is it called? Spreadsheet? Oh, okay. So, oh, all right. This is like when they say, supposedly, is when the dude, I think, was looking for the cars that they said bolo or like put out bolos for, like about um Idaho 4 and like the car that was involved with that. And whoa. Um, so they're showing this log of this Andre guy that apparently like pulled all of these license plates or something on his swing shift uh from Wash. No, wait. I don't know who he was working with. But anyway, so here's the log from that, and it was like, let's see how many are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it's describing where, and I wonder which one is over. All right, that's that. Then 165 is prisoner transport for getting BK from Pennsylvania to Idaho, details and email. And then I put a little note saying if the documents are not specifically noted as containing particular information, then it means it just contains a request for information from all the people who contacted them, including lots of media places and also personal requests for the records from individuals. Okay, so then documents. Yeah, so we can just look at 165. I don't think it really says like that much, but it's just like where they were talking about. So this is Latah County government from Shane Anderson to Aaron Brashears. Oh, Aaron Brashears was the officer that was cited in the case of the robbery, I think. The one that like went and talked to Cruz in the beginning and was like, no, yeah, he knew everything. I have attached our plan. Oh, okay, so prisoner transport, and then there's an operations captain called Operation Shane Anderson from the Latah County Sheriff's Office. I attached a brief missions operations order that went out to my people. If there's any concerns, let me know. Thank you. Aaron Brashears. So yeah, this is just like documentation about how they have to transport, like, it's different policy that they're going over. Yeah, so they call it Operation Turtle Shell, and it's just annoying. I mean, it's just kind of like stupid stuff. But they always have to do this like for, they think that they're like, Operation um whatever. I'm not like a military person, so I think if that, helps them do their job or like what they need to get done like better, then that's fine, but I also feel like it's like makes them think that they're like it makes them take themselves too seriously, I think. And people would probably be like, well, yeah, you should take like a quadruple murder like seriously, and I'm like, they just overreact about that shit. I mean, look at Brian Kober. He did not need that much stuff. Like he was like zero risk. And same with like Luigi and stuff. So yeah, they're talking about how he's in custody of the Pennsylvania State Police and that he was going to be going to the Latah County Jail. And they were talking about how they would basically get him from the initial place. I don't know, whatever. You can read it if you're interested. It's dumb. It's just basically being like, we're going to drive from the airport, and then these people are going to like park here, and then we're going to park there, and then we'll do this. Belly chains, leg restraints with key, inmate plate carrier and helmet, handcuff key. And then a volunteer ambulance will be informed of the route and placed on standby. Contingencies. Officer down. If out of vehicle, the closest non-transport vehicle will move to assist and collect down officer and transport to Grumman Medical Center. Damn, they're like really planning it out. It would be commandos over the radio, Latah primary. And like the head radio operator, it sounds like would be Captain 5 operator or something. So yeah, and then here's like the people that are involved. So it Dean Olson, Sergeant something or other, Driver B Anderson, Captain Anderson, Harkins, Corporal Duke, Captain Amundsen, Lieutenant Yunt, Trooper 1234. Okay, so no one that I know, and then that's the airport. Blah 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 blah. So that's fun. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right, we're coming up on like how long has it been right now? I've been recording. La 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 la. Oh damn, 2.5 hours. Holy shiznit. Um, what to do, what to do. All right, so there's like 280 of these documents. Okay, you know what I'll do? I'll finish going through up to, let's see, I think it's like 178. Ooh, that's shady. Mm. All right, so this might actually be a decent place for me to stop tonight because the remaining documents, like, so I think I kind of want to go over so like the next four documents cover a lot of, like, most of the information that they have on his interview for the fellowship or research assistant position with the Pullman Police Department. And then it also has like the job description and yeah, and then also like some emails behind the scenes with the interviewers or like the supervisors of the position talking about interview questions. Um, and like I mentioned before, like a lot of logistical emails between Gary Jenkins and Brian trying to find a time to set up a interview like over Ring Central, which is must be their app that they use. Anyway, so I like think it'd be better to start out fresh with that, and then after that, it will be, oh yeah, and then there's another four inner like documents that have some like something really shady happened about like not being able to access information and because of like some switch over to Ring Central. So I was like, so like I want to talk about that, and then after that, then there's like this whistleblower like really long record, and it's like phew, like intense. So anyways, like I think this is a good time to, I mean, I kind of want to just finish the next two groupings, but I do feel like it'd be better for me to just start fresh with those and then maybe end tomorrow with like the fucking crazy whistleblower document. And then finish up the rest of the documents like some other time, but there's not really that much important information in them. I think maybe I might kind of review it and just find out any novel information that we have in there because it ends up being so much repeated information. It's just all these like forwarded upon forwarded upon forwarded shit, like with all these like record requests, if that makes sense. But I'll show you tomorrow. I'll plan on coming on tomorrow. Oh, Landon, you fell asleep. Yeah. I probably should be falling asleep, Landon, but I forgive you. But thank you so much for being here the whole time, Landon. You showed up, whether or not you're asleep, you know. Um, Maybe you're also like channeling your dreams like the psychic that called. But yeah, I think I'll call it a night and thank you for being here, Landon, and thank everyone else for watching this if you are. And again, if you could like the video, it like makes a huge difference. And also subscribing would make me feel like it would make me feel really nice. So if you could do a solid for me, I'd really appreciate it. You could like turn off any notifications so you like won't even know that you're subscribed to me. Um, but okay, well, I hope everyone has a good night and looking forward to finishing up these docs and then also looking like more into, I really do want to talk about the US Steel explosion today too and how that relates to all the other explosion shit that's been going on. So, but I really appreciate Landon and fuck, I already forgot my number too. It was like hidden brutally honest. Why did I think it was hidden? Well, it started with an H, but okay. But yeah, shout out to Brutally Honest and Landon Custom Classics. You guys are real ones, the OGs, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone else that is watching this, and I hope everyone has a great night, and peace and love. Bye.